Thinking mainly from a scarcity based mentality versus an abundant based mentality is one of the core contributing factors to why you are having a really hard time getting over and moving past your ex. When you're thinking from a scarcity based mentality, you're thinking more from a fear based mentality, which is the worry of, which is the concern about something. You're on the defense, right? Versus thinking in an abundance based mentality, which is on the faith side. And I don't mean in a religious sense, right? Faith itself is just a belief in something towards something more positive, something more optimistic for intelligent reasoning, right? Not just because you want to believe it, but because it has some sort of credence to it. There's some sort of information, or there's tangible evidence that supports you being able to make sense of believing in something better. And when you're caught up on your ex and you just can't let go of those good times, you can't move on, you can't fully digest what they've done to you or whatever the case is, and the fact that they left you or that they did you so wrong, right? You just can't get past it. It's because whatever your ex meant to you at that period in time, whatever they represented, whatever it was that is so, painful to you and it's so significant to where you can't get off of it, is because you have more of a belief in that, right? To where you're in a scarcity mentality because you feel like you've lost something. Something's been taken from you, you feel, right? Something you can't get back. And a lot of times you're looking at your ex as that was your future. So without them, you're not thinking abundantly towards what is next, towards what I can have, towards what is going to come from this, right? And you're stuck in that past. See, when you review your past from an abundance-based mentality, you're looking at that past towards what you gained from that experience with your ex, right? How you benefited from the lessons you learned, or how you're so much better without them now in your life, or, what they did for your sense of growth towards your future, right? You're maybe even optimistic that, oh my gosh, I'm glad I stopped being with that person. They weren't the best one for me. Now I'll give myself a chance to find that better person for me, right? So you're thinking more towards how that past contributed to where you're going. Now, does it make the pain of whatever you went through with your ex any less intense or less significant? No, it doesn't. Look, the gift of love, right? The yin yang of love on the other side oftentimes is pain. Relationships are not valuable or not worth having and cherishing if it doesn't mean something to you to lose them. But it's how you choose to see and process losing them, which is the game changer, and whether you actually heal to move on in a healthy manner, or you stay stuck and spin your wheels and you keep just stewing in the pain. So when you start thinking abundantly about your past, right, you may still have some emotions from that time period where you're like, man, that feeling of loss, the grievance of moving past that stage in your life, right? Because whether that person was good for you or not ultimately, right, but most likely they were not if it didn't work out, it still meant something to you. They were still part of an important period of your life for whatever reason, right? So yes, there's a grievance you go through, but it's also putting it to rest because you recognize there's better things for you on the horizon because you're thinking abundantly. You think about what you can have. Now, why is it an ability to think abundant towards your past versus a ability to think in more of a scarcity mentality? What is the source to that? And the answer is you can think abundantly, right? It can be that way whenever you truly believe in yourself and your value and what you're capable of. When you believe in what's possible because of who you are and the value you know yourself to be, not selling yourself what you think your value is and all these things, right? What you're saying all up in your head, you have to know it in here, in your body, right? When you know it in here, it becomes an undoubted belief for you. Whenever that's the case, you can absolutely think more abundantly towards your future because you are abundant and you know you're the source to producing something better going forward. You have that power. You have the control in that. But when you don't see that value in yourself, when you don't truly believe it in here in your heart, the way you tell other people you do, when you're talking to your friends or your family members, right? You want to seem strong. You don't want to seem like you feel weak and like that breakup broke you, right? And so, yeah, I'm going to be fine and I'm going through it, but I'm going to be good. I know I'm going to get better. I'm going to find someone better for me and all that stuff. You try to talk yourself into convincing yourself. But deep down, you don't really feel you're as valuable or as love worthy and all the things that you actually should, to where, yeah, you're saying it out loud, but it's not coming through in your actions because you don't truly believe it in your heart. You don't believe in that value the way you claim. So then you're stuck standing in the scarcity mentality, focusing on what you had, because that represented that value for yourself in some way. And without your ex in your life, then now moving forward towards the future doesn't seem vibrant and bright because you don't even have a vision towards that, because without your ex, you're not really feeling that value to be hopeful and live in faith towards your future. This is why the most important thing you need to do whenever you're going through a painful breakup, right, is focus on your self-care, self-healing, and filling your glass up towards seeing and acknowledging your value. You have to double down on loving yourself more than ever than anyone else in your world right now. Because when you're going through that wound and that feeling of loss, you need you most to remind you of how awesome you are and how deserving you are of better if you're willing to be better. And it's really through that process that you really start to reconnect with yourself in a different way. You start to grow and evolve, because if nothing else, those relationships that we go through that end are meant to at least teach us something so we can improve ourselves, so we can get better, right? Because it takes two to tango. You have a role you played in your relationship. No matter what happened, who did what, you played a role in the things you either did or did not do, right? So you take those little bits of information, those learning lessons, and you work them into your growth now. They're making you better. You're connecting yourself on a deeper level. You start to actually see, believe in, and live the value that you actually are, and you're connected to it. And then you start to know it. You don't just think it. And once you truly know it in your heart, then you start to align with it, which puts you on a different frequency, because you start to exude it in your energy and your aura. And then you start to attract to you people on the same vibration, which equates to attracting better partners for a brighter future. If you need help truly healing from that painful breakup, so you can get into an abundance-based mentality and get out of the fear-based scarcity mentality, so you can move on and attract a better partner for you, either email or DM me the word coaching, and we will get to work, as long as you're truly ready to put the work in. If you're not ready for one-on-one coaching or the time or the space for it, email or DM me the word revival and join my Relationship Revival Hub community, where you can take my relationship renewal course that teaches you everything you need to know towards building healthy relationships, and it has exclusive content in there towards you healing and being able to get yourself in the position you need to attract the partner that you want to have. And you can do that at your own pace, on your own time, in the community. Either way, get in the race. Let's get it.